All right, hey, what's up? So what we got here is who I call the human tantrum. Greg Gutfeld, who I also call Gutless, throwing an absolute baby little girl fit. I mean, watch how much this guy can't handle hearing the truth, or even just hearing things about, I don't know, his own party, I guess. And you know, I'm just so sick of this finger pointing. It's just like, oh god, I'm just getting so tired of it. But here, let's just watch it so you know what I'm talking about. Oh, before we get into that, really quick, I just want to explain that I'm going to be going through this psychologically, okay? So what's happening to Gutless here, as far as psychologically, he's experiencing an ego threat and cognitive dissonance triggered by inconvenient facts. His tantrum is a mix of denial, projection, regression, and dominance behavior, all in service of protecting his tribal identity and avoiding the shame of acknowledging uncomfortable truths. This applies to, like, pretty much MAGA, all of MAGA. But okay, please subscribe. I work very hard on these videos, and they're only going to get better. So, alright, let's watch this together.
When it's really applicable and sparingly, because then people will believe you when you say it. And it has become too common to hear words like that. And that is a both sides problem. And last week we went through the litany of times that Donald Trump has used that rhetoric, and the fact that he came out after Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination and said the radical left did this. And then we heard a chorus of "we are at war." And that does permeate the entirety of American society, that they hear that from the top. We don't know
garbage.
that much.
That is absolute garbage.
It is.
Continue. When something terrible happens
Greg,
when somebody gets murdered, you're saying, how dare you be enraged by it? Continue.
No, what I say is, how dare
there is no, I'll give you the both. No, Jessica, I'll give you the both sides.
Greg,
I agree with you. There is both sides. On one hand, you have the hard left, and on the other hand, you have the left.
Why are you
They're the both sides of the same coin. Because you walk into this room and you're not reading it. There is no both sides. You don't have the evidence for that.
That's not true.
You can't say that Donald Trump says this.
Someone.
You guys act on it. You guys act on it. We don't. What do you want?
What do I want? I would like to talk about the specifics of who Vance Bolter actually was, since we fought about that last time. Because you make it out as if this was just that he knew Melissa Hortman.
Let's focus on this thing now. I'll destroy you on that later. But focus on this now. You want to go back?
Focus on this now. This looks like a kid that was inflamed either by the leftist cabal, or maybe he used his own eyes. And maybe he saw what's going on. Maybe there are people in his community who are being picked up by people from ICE. Maybe he saw raids at Home Depot. Or maybe he did hear J.B. Pritzker. He seems like a Morning Joe viewer to me, right? Someone who had tuned in, saw Hillary Clinton, and then went out and grabbed his gun. The common denominator in all of this is that we have young men, usually young white men, who have access to these guns and are carrying out these tragedies. They are nihilists. They live online. And again, do you think it's normal that people are writing on casings anti-ICE? They think that it's a joke. You look at Tyler Robinson's text messages with his roommate and partner, it reads like a joke. They just wanted us on Fox News to have to be able to read that stuff out loud. He even said it in the messages. So I get it. You're amped up. I don't think that I said anything worthy of that.
Okay. Just to go through some of the things she just said, like, I don't trust anything that's coming out of Kash Patel's FBI. Who writes anti-ICE? They would write fuck ICE, if anything, right? This was a creation from none other than Kash Patel and his lazy, half-assed FBI crew right now, trying really, really, really hard to make Fox viewers or the right blame the left. I mean, it's so exaggerated, it's comical. Since when has this been a thing? Like, oh, when they see this on the news later, no one thinks that far ahead. That's so specific. It's just so dumb, and it's so obvious. It's so annoying. I can't stand how first grader little Kash Patel is.
That level of explosion.
Your rationalization of both sides, you have to understand, since Kurt's death, there is no both sides anymore, Jessica.
Why did the DOJ take down the study that showed how much right-wing extremism.
What study was that? Which one? The one in The Economist that was sponsored by a group run by a guy in Antifa? That study that has been discredited by the Federalists? You're walking down a really bad alley right now.
Federalist?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually did see, Jessica, I did the deep dive on that study. That study was authored by a project that was run by a guy who says he was an Antifa. That is why that whole thing has been scrubbed.
You know, we can tell how this guy is dumb as rocks, because anyone who thinks that Antifa is some kind of gang is just so uneducated, or at least uninformed. Because everyone, or I guess everyone except MAGA these days, is Antifa. It's a belief. It's anti-fascist. And nobody is dumb enough to start embarrassing little groups together like that, except silly, weak, sensitive, insecure people like the Proud Boys or Gropers. Or whatever the hell that's KKK inspired. Name one version of that on the left. Or name one left version of that crap. There isn't. Come on, you guys, grow up. Accept the truth like the rest of us. And just take responsibility already. Like, what the fuck? This is so dumb. It's not a cute look for what was the greatest country in the world not too long ago.
It's real simple. You label someone a fascist or a racist or a Nazi, it makes you free to attack them, and that has been the ideology from the start. It's weird.
So why?
No. Let me talk.
Trump does it.
What?
Just tell me why it's okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Great. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You won't be for long. The left calls Trump a hate monger. They have called me a hate monger.
Gee, I wonder
because
why.
I ridicule the left. I ridicule protesters. I ridicule academia, Hollywood, the news media. I make fun of The View every day. I make fun of the UN. Guess what? No one acts on the things that I say because my side doesn't do that.
Oh my god, that is a riot. What a riot this guy is. Okay, he just admitted it right there. That's how dumb he is. He literally just said whenever he or Trump or anyone on his side, he says something really offensive or disrespectful or immature or super messed up, nothing happens. My god, I mean, you guys, seriously? Just come clean already. It won't hurt you, I promise. Just say, okay, our side has the problem. Let's do something about it now.
We say people are stupid. We say people are wrong, but we don't say they're evil. That is your game.
Also, let me just play this quick little montage.
Biden's new business partners are evil.
Defying evil, even when it's so bad.
Evil. That it is.
An evil person would ask a question like that.
Design. Their policies are evil. They are intentional. They are malicious. They hate this country. And
these terrorists become so evil.
This is pure evil.
There's evil. There's evil.
This was an evil act. Now, if we don't confront evil,
They've had
evil
whole
spreads.
segments
There are evil people, and we have to confront.
Okay, and then you come and you say, okay, man, this is a mentally ill loner. Well, who do you think does this stuff? It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Tom Brady. It's not even Carrot Top. People who do this stuff are always that way. The question is, who points them in that direction? Why pick ICE? Why pick Kirk? Why target TV stations that put bombs under Fox trucks? Huh? Why vandalize memorials? Why kill kids in Catholic schools? Two things can be true. A person can be mentally ill, and you can be guiding him to that place in his life. That is how brainwashing works.
He would know brainwashing.
There is a litany of examples that
you will not have them. If I gave you 2 months to look for them, you couldn't find them because they've been debunked.
Really?
You have one thing. If you want to talk about, if you want to talk a minute,
Alice's son has been debunked. Dylan Roof has been debunked. Vance Bolter and his list of dozens
we can talk
of
about that. But
go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, you want to talk about it?
I do.
Okay. There was not a relentless drumbeat for 10 years about his victim like there was here. There was an intent and a motive for her killing by her killer alone. It wasn't Five. It wasn't National Review. It wasn't any show going like, you know what? We need to go after this fascist. Hopefully someone will take her out. That never happened.
Guys,
that is why your analogy is so pointless. And desperate.
Pipe bombs being sent to Democrats' houses. People saying in court, I was inspired by Donald Trump.
If you want to do this math, you're going to be embarrassed.
Brown people. According to you, I'm embarrassed every day. So frankly, I'm just feeling normal.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Jessica Tarloff, mad kudos to her. She's got balls, but she's got a PhD, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Okay, so the craziest part about this is that so many MAGA people come out of this very clip actually thinking that he did a great job and that she got owned or whatever. I mean, it is absolute. Just, I can't understand it. I just can't understand how someone could get to that type of thinking. I really don't. But, especially from just watching that, you would really get that out of that. Anyways, I don't know. It's childish. That's what it is. It's childish and ignorance. It just is. But anyway, okay, so this is a very common psychological pattern amongst the MAGA people that plays out when someone's worldview or identity or in-group is being threatened. So let's break it down. Okay, so what's happening, I'll break it down in about five points. Okay. Psychologically, what's happening here is, well, the most obvious is an ego defense mechanism. So this is denial and projection. Instead of processing the uncomfortable reality like the rest of us grown adults have to deal with, the right-wing extremists disproportionately responsible for mass shooting and stuff, he projects that liar label onto Jessica Tarloff. That way, the problem is external, meaning like her lies, rather than internal, like this side's violence, okay? And another part of this is displacement. So he channels anger about the larger issue, the violence linked to his political tribe, onto Jessica personally. She becomes the stand-in enemy because it's easier to attack than the frightening truth, I guess. Because these MAGA people, they're such little scaredy cats. They're little crybabies. But okay, so the second thing that's happening here, psychologically speaking, is identity threat and cognitive dissonance. So the human tantrum here, his political persona is built around defending MAGA, as all MAGA is, and the Republican brand. So when Jessica reports that shooter, Tyler Robinson, was a Trump supporter, it directly conflicts with his self-concept and audience narrative. That dissonance, like facts versus loyalty, produces discomfort. Like, did you see him kicking his little legs? So crazy. But psychologically, instead of reconciling with the fact, he resolves the tension by going after the messenger, which is our brilliant Jessica here. Most obvious thing happening here, and this is a big one for MAGA, is immaturity and regression, okay? The overly dramatic fit, and yelling over her suggests regression, reverting to childlike behaviors like tantrums, name-calling, refusal to listen, when overwhelmed by an intolerable truth. That's how you know these MAGA people are weaklings. Okay, immature coping shows up as interrupting, shouting, dismissing the personal attacks, and these are all ways of avoiding direct engagement with the actual content itself. Okay, and so for the most MAGA thing that's happening here, besides the little whiny baby fits, is that this is a tribal psychology, or that's like I'm trying to say cult nicely. This is very cultish behavior. So to him, acknowledging the shooter's MAGA affiliation equals betraying the tribe. And I'm saying like for the most like left versus right wing, since there's so many more that are MAGA people doing this. And so this in-group, out-group psychology kicks in, and that's when defending the team matters more than reality. So facts become threats to loyalty. So his brain shifts into fight mode. All right, and the fifth thing here, and of course, this is the misogyny coming out of Fox, is that he's trying to display control and dominance. By cutting Jessica off, the human tantrum reasserts dominance on live TV. It's not about proving facts. It never is with MAGA. It's about making sure the audience sees him winning by volume, not by substance. This is often rooted in insecurity, which is, well, most people, I guess. But when someone feels they're losing the argument on truth, they pivot to tone and aggression to save face. And that's, it took me a lot of thinking because I'm just so intrigued by how these are all full grown-ass people behaving this way. And so that's what I've been able to, and I thought this was really good almost like this is metaphorically representing like MAGA in a nutshell. So that's what I got for you today, and I hope you like this video. I worked very hard on putting that in the right words. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you want to watch any of my Abby Phillips series, you can watch them right now. Thank you. See you in the next episode.
They got your data, dumbass.
Do not come. Do not come.